Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the ice, brought to you by Dokes Fuels, Case Financial Group, Toby Hockey, and of course, our friends, Palamount Hockey Academy. Today's guest, down in Arizona, rightfully so. He was drafted first round overall, number one by the Arizona Coyotes. You drafted and moved up, actually, 16 places to get this fine young gentleman. He's a return guest here on the ice, a little bit more older, a little more wiser, but we'll also get back into the Wayback Machine and talk about his years in 2013, 2014. That's right. We'll see if Conor Geekie can remember what he was doing that summer with the Winnipeg Junior Jets program and see if he remembers how many points he got. So on the ice, please welcome a very great individual, fantastic young star, and Mr. Plus Minus, as I've called him, tremendously talented athlete in Conor Geekie here to On the Ice. Welcome, Conor Geekie, to On the Ice. Conor, thank you for joining me this evening. How far is it from where you are now to the rink in Arizona?
Ooh, 10 minutes. Depends who's driving.
So we'll get to the roommate situation later on. But Conor, first and foremost, congratulations on being selected number 11th overall. Tremendous feeling, tremendous feat after the season you had this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's it like going from Winnipeg to Phoenix, Arizona, considering the fact that a lot of people from Manitoba are snowbirds in Arizona? Does it feel a little bit like a home away from home, or will it?
Yeah, no, it feels like home already. I've only been here 2 weeks now. I'm pretty sure it's 46 right now, so a little hot, but lots of fun here. Lots of things to do. Again, lots of good guys here. A lot of the pro guys are staying here too, so getting to meet all them and just kind of hanging out. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, it certainly should be one of the most exciting parts of this summer, at least. Let's go a little bit back to this season. Tremendous season with the Winnipeg Ice in the Western Hockey League. The first full season with the team after the bubble. Let's look at those stats: 24 goals, 46 helpers, 70 points, better than a point a game. But I got to tell you, plus 46 on the radar there. Do you expect that two-way game from you? And did you expect that number to be so high?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I consider myself more of a playmaker than a two-way forward in my eyes. But again, I think it's just something that, I wouldn't say I play the D zone perfect by any means, but I try not to get scored on, right? That's kind of the main goal and everything. I think a big thing for me is I really don't get scored on a whole lot. I try and control the puck as much as I can outside of my zone. Obviously, you're gonna have shifts where you get caught in your zone. That's where you need to know the system. But again, I try and limit that and try and generate offense. That's kind of how my thought process works out.
Generating offense from the defensive zone. Your game is 200 feet. Absolutely, tremendous center. Supporting the corners as always. Is that part of your game that you've been able to improve over the last little bit under Coach James Patrick's tutelage?
Yeah, for sure. I think you look back at it, and I'm forever thankful for Jeep, right? What he's done. He's taught me how to play the right way, stop on pucks, all that good stuff. So again, that's also been my dad's kind of thing too, right? Growing up, defense translates to offense, and everything will look after itself. So just taking care of the D zone has kind of always been my thing. I think I've gotten better at it for sure, but I also, try and keep the puck in the offensive zone. When you're playing offense, so you can't play offense.
Absolutely. You had a tremendous season. You guys were literally at the top of the Canadian Hockey League board the entire season. Just came into a little bit more of a veteran team, perhaps, at Edmonton. It was just talk about that last season real quick, if you could shine some light on it. Unable to get to the Memorial Cup championship.
Yeah, I think you think about it, and you think of so many different ways you can go about it, right? Oh, they were older. We weren't dialed in as much. We were tired from the last series. You could think of all that, but it really just comes down to, kind of who wanted it more. And, they were a veteran team, right? That was their goal all year coming into it. Um, I'd say we wanted it just as bad, but, they had depth. They had, I think their youngest player might have been 16, 17, but we had, a lot of young guys, a lot of guys coming in trying to play big moments. So, we had some injury trouble a little bit as well, but again, it was a hard fought battle by us. I think a couple bounces that didn't go our way, but again, it is what it is. You can't dwell on it now. We're just trying to go into next year, and now that we take that experience, I think next year is kind of our year.
What is the plan for next year? Back with the ice and then continue on building and being that much better?
Yeah, I guess I'll take it day by day. Obviously, I'll try and crack the squad here, but when it comes down to things, I think back in Winnipeg will be, one more year, mature as a person, as a player, and especially with the team we have, how good we're going to be. I think, we're really looking forward to kind of taking the next step and, not promising anything, but maybe bring a championship back to Winnipeg.
You talk about how the coach gave you a lot of influence. How about the veterans that were on that ice squad? I mean, what were you able to learn from them over the course of the season, dealing with adversity, dealing with, the difference in playing in a bubble and then, working with yourself and your line mates? Because when I look at the roster, Connor, and each time that was put together on a daily basis, you were playing first line, second line, third line, and it was so many moving parts throughout that lineup. And was that just by strategy or by design with coach, or was that just something that we were working throughout the season trying to find the right pairings?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can look at it. Again, I think that could have been kind of just how things worked out at the time, right? I think for a lot of I guess for half the season, I always played with Benson and Savoy, and we had a lot of success. I think that's where we all got most of our points coming down to the stretch of it. I think we played there together since probably February or even January. But again, things change, right? Things change in a heartbeat. Guys play better than other guys some games, and you got to go with your feeling as a coach, in my opinion, and that's what Sheep does so well. Is he fits everything in and makes sure it's the right fit for everyone. So. Again, it was a lot of fun this year. Flip-flopping lines, not really knowing who you're playing with. I was lucky to, I've always played with Benny, Zach Benson. That's always been my guy. I've been his. So, again, I think next year, again, you're going to look at little things and, maybe me, Savoy, and Benson play the whole year, or, we don't even get a game, right? It's just little things like that you can't really pick up on.
What was the big difference for you, Connor, playing in the bubble last year, the 24 games in Saskatchewan, and then playing the full season with fans in Winnipeg and the travel and a little more looseness in regards to that schedule for you?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun, right? You make a lot of memories when you're on the bus, whatever it is you're doing, playing cards, playing a lot of games on our phones all together. We all tried to play together, but it was different, right? You got to get used to it. I think that's I think there's a month in October. I don't think I scored for a month, and it was just, again, a lot of travel. You're really trying to figure things out, but it is what it is.
If you had to not put a number at a 10, but when you look at this year's team at the ice, how great of a team was it from top to bottom? Like, you look at not only the invites and the drafted players this year, but everybody that's going to a PD camp this summer, getting invited to NHL camps. How great of a team was this really in your eyes?
Yeah, I think we were one of the best, right? We weren't ranked number one for the whole year for no reason, right? So it's it sucks that we couldn't, make it a little farther and bring back something special. But that was probably the closest group of guys I've ever been on when it comes down to things. How good we were as a team, as a whole, on the bus. Picking each other up. Someone has a bad game, someone has a good game. It was never that. It was always just we were all good friends, right? There was nobody that was excluded. It was just a great bond, and like I said, the team was one of a kind, and special in every way, but a lot of fun and very talented players.
You give credit to your coaching and your playing in your group of players that you were with this year for your 200-foot game. What about your brothers? I mean, you're the youngest of three. Did they teach you a little bit of defense back in the day, how to defend for yourself, or was it more just stick to the team and let the coach tell you what's got to get done?
They teach you. Well, Morgan and Noah again have taught me everything I know when it comes down to the little things, and Dad too, Mom, everyone. But I'd say they taught me more on the offensive side, if I had to say so. They taught me a lot of little things growing up, how to kind of beat a guy one on one, and I was always playing against them. But I think a big thing that goes into defense is how you use your stick. I guess playing baseball or whatever sport, I think I got pretty good at using my hand-eye coordination and stripping guys of pucks. So I think that gives credit to it as well. But I go about my business when I play. Right? I don't try and wow anyone with my defense. I think I try and keep it pretty subtle. And again, my best defense is playing in the offensive zone.
Certainly. Conor, I really appreciate that. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the lead up to Montreal and then finally hearing your name called. Truly one of your benchmark moments this summer. Stay with us here on the ice. We'll be back with Conor Geekie. Back here on the ice with Winnipeg Ice forward and soon-to-be Arizona Coyote forward, Conor Geekie. Conor, before we get to this summer and the wonderful news that occurred earlier this month, let's go back to 2013, 2014. Do you remember that 9-10 years ago, Winnipeg Junior Jets?
Oh,
selection
I do.
Team?
I do.
So we just finished at the Brick Invitational last week, calling out some of those games here on ASTV, and we looked at during that, like I said, we were in Edmonton during the NHL draft, and of the 16 North American players drafted in the first round, 10 of them played at the Brick Invitational during your year. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's we were talking about that actually the other day. It was pretty cool to look at that and kind of see how everything pans out.
So you had two other Manitobans drafted this year in Denton Matejcik and Owen Pickering. Have the three of you conversed over the last little bit, or have you discussed, say, man, what a crazy feeling this is?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty close just from playing sports together or whatever it is. I talk to Dents quite a bit. We're pretty good friends still. Obviously I'll talk to Pick if I see him, but again, it's such a cool feeling that you can't really talk about it, right? It's one of those things where you're still pretty starstruck when it comes down to it, and being from smaller towns, all of us, I guess you could say that we don't really need to talk about it, right? I think we had our moments at the draft where we got to hug each other, see each other in the jersey and stuff like that, but we'll never take it outside of that, right? There's no need to go tell the whole world or whatever that is. But I'd say we're all pretty humble when it comes down to it, and just kept it between ourselves.
That's fantastic. One person that doesn't keep it quiet still is your roommate down in AZ. Still brings up a little bit of that Kings versus Ice showdown.
Yeah, for sure. I always stand up for Winnipeg. I always find a way to say that we should have won, but yeah, again, it's fun. It's always a friendly rivalry between me and Dill, and just hanging out and being roommates together. It's a pretty cool experience as well.
Right on. First week of July, were you getting tense a little bit? Were you feeling a little nervous? Did you have any? Obviously, you had some unknowns going to Montreal. Tell us a little bit about that first week of July and what was going on with you and just the feelings you were having leading up to draft day.
Yeah, so I had grad actually 3 days before I had to leave, so I wasn't too focused on the draft by any means. Went into Winnipeg early, got a few skates in, and again, I wouldn't say I was too worried about it. I was just trying to live in the moment as much as I could. Having the whole family, my girlfriend come out too. It was pretty fun, just kind of touring Montreal. Doing all the little things that you do, and again, like our family, we just try and go about our business a little bit and just have fun with it all. And having Morgan and Noah there was pretty special too. So it was all a pretty big whirlwind when it came down to it. But yeah, again, just living in the moment, kind of going through the swing of things.
Was it a little surprising to hear that Arizona moved 16 spots up to number 11?
Yeah, I think
Or did you have an idea what was going on?
no, no, not a clue. I think when they kind of were going, and I saw they traded up. I guess you could say I had my fingers crossed. Just hoping they were going to pick me. And that's kind of the spot I wanted to go to from the beginning. And I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity. And once they called my name, I think it was a pretty cool moment.
You didn't miss a step down those stairs, thankfully. I saw a couple of players kind of trip up a little bit, but if you had to, was there anything awe-inspiring or, looking at all those tables on the center of the ice there? Is that a little bit overtaking a little bit? Does that take your breath away a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think just seeing everyone kind of right there, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. When it comes down to it. Funny story, when Arizona traded up, I looked at their table and they looked right at me. So that was kind of the telling point for me, anyways. I really looked down at them. One of their scouts looked up at me, and we both kind of smiled, and that was that. So it's a pretty cool feeling, and just kind of all of it is fun, right? You never. Sometimes you take it for granted, but when you go there and you see it all, it's pretty cool.
What were the conversations like between you and Arizona that made that fit and just made it feel right when your name was called?
Yeah, I think you go through a lot, right? You go through a lot of conversations, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of questionnaires. I think they were just the most down to earth. They were very family like. It's like I've been playing in their organization for a long time already, right? Not like I was a prospect or anything. So, we got along really well. I had a lot of good chats with them, whether it was just hockey or not, right? They were one of those teams where I could just talk about anything, and we ended up obviously having a good enough bond to start a bigger one.
Absolutely. Who cried more, mom, dad, or brothers in Montreal? Or
I
girlfriend,
don't
you
think
should say.
I don't think if I'm not wrong, I don't think anyone did, to be honest. I think my brothers were probably close. They won't admit it, but I think they were pretty close. But yeah, again, I think it was more excitement than anything. Girlfriend was pretty emotional. I'll put it that way, but I don't think any tears were shed by anyone.
That's good. Happy tears, if any, correct?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Not like we're losing our son to a further state. It's just,
Yeah,
hey, now they get a place to visit now in Arizona.
for sure, for
There
sure.
you go. You have a line mate. You talked about Benny. We talked about Matt. Matt going a couple spots ahead of you. Have you two talked about playing and drafted by the different teams and how things have looked over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, again, me and Sav are pretty close when it comes down to everything. We thought about getting drafted to the same team. I think that was kind of a cool thought, like just kind of seeing how everything panned out, and knowing that maybe there's a chance someone takes a bid on us both, but super happy for him. It's kind of a sigh of relief when he got drafted for me, anyways, and for him. We shared a pretty good moment there, and yeah, super proud of him. And when it comes down to it, right, you're just happy to be there, happy to be a part of it, and super cool experience as well.
Of course. Do you remember what Gary Bettman said to you when you shook his hand?
Pretty sure you just said congrats and how's your ankle, if I'm not wrong. Because I did fall down the stairs.
Yeah. The lineup of Arizona personnel, did you know all of them? Did they all look familiar to you, or were some of them like, I hope I get to know this person a little better?
Yeah, I think you know, like you've talked to a lot of them, right? You talked to a lot of scouts, GM, assistant GM. Um, Again, when you look at it, it's in the moment it's hard to remember names and all these people, but now, like I said, it's like I've been here for 3 years. I know pretty much everyone. I know a face to a name, so um, you know, glad to be a part of it. And like I said, it feels like home.
The draft jersey you put on, do you still have it, or is it back home, or where is it now residing?
I'm pretty sure it's just in my room. Yeah, it's in my room behind me. So yeah, I just at an apartment here. I haven't gone home yet, so just kind of hanging out. And then once I head home, I think see my grandparents since they weren't able to come to the draft, and celebrate with a couple buddies of mine.
Very good. Celebration dinner in Montreal was where, or was there one?
There wasn't one. The draft was actually quite a while. We didn't end until like 10:30. I think I had a couple sandwiches. Like cold cuts or whatever. That was about it. Nothing too special.
Obviously your phone was probably blowing up tremendously as the day was going on. Any memorable tweets or any memorable texts sent to you from former coaches or players that you worked with that you remember off the top of your head?
I think the group. There's a couple buddies of mine that they give me a hard time. Of course, we give each other a hard time, but I think it was just pretty special, and they kind of knew that it was a big deal for me, right? I think when you grow up, they chirp you saying, make the NHL, blah blah blah, and I think when it was really happening, they were pretty shocked, just like I was. Another funny one, I guess. My girlfriend, she was sitting on the other side of the stadium or the rink, sorry, and she just texted me like, "Don't fall," probably 10 times, and I guess it got to my head and had a bit of a slip. But again, just seeing kind of how my friends reacted to it, it was pretty special, and it was again a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Let's fast forward just a little bit to the present time now. More, Connor, you're in Arizona. You've been there since the draft. What has been the plan here for now and the rest of the summer for you to prepare for the rest of these camps as well as moving forward?
Yeah, I think just working out, right? Getting on the ice, trying to get my skating up a little bit. Kind of taking it all in, I guess you could say. I think it's been a pretty big whirlwind here as of late. Still a pretty big whirlwind with the signing and all that. So again, just kind of going about my business, but still trying to be a professional and trying to understand kind of how everything works. And I think maybe heading home here in the next couple weeks just to see my family and celebrate one last time before the real work begins.
Couple of golf games in Arizona, I take it.
Yeah, I will be for sure. Yeah, I think probably getting some clubs here next week, so it'll be good.
There you go. How's the signature looking? You gonna remember? Was it weird signing your first NHL entry level contract for 3 years?
Yeah, I think it was, you not to be arrogant or cocky, but I got to practice a little bit of my signature for sure. So I did mess it up. It wasn't the usual, but it looked close enough. So again, it was pretty cool and pretty surreal moment as well.
Well, Connor, I really appreciate the time. I know you've got a lot of things on the go down in Arizona. I really appreciate it, and congratulations again. And just putting Strathclair on the map again, Southern Manitoba. Really, really proud of you, and congratulations on a great season and a bright future for you and your family. Thank you.
Thanks, yeah,
Always. Well, catch up. Maybe we'll catch up finally for a golf game. What do you think?
for sure. I think
Well,
so.
we got. I heard there's a lot of chirping that goes on between dad and brothers and whatnot on the golf course.
Yeah, there is quite a bit.
Well, I'm sure you're getting practice. And Conor Geekie, thank you again for joining us here on the ice.
Thank you, Theo.
And there you have it. Conor Geekie here. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Doak Spoke Fields, Case Financial, Toby Hockey, and of course, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy. We'll be back later this week as well, potentially with another draft pick, maybe some discussion about some ball hockey. We just don't know. Hey, things are happening. It's summertime. Bringing more goodness to the greatness here on ASTV. Have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your neighbors, and enjoy that wonderful weather outside. Do make sure to check out astvproductions.com. It's always free to watch. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Apple TV, and Roku, of course. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.